My girlfriend's not IT, but hey, raise her story, by user Cocus3. My GF is a bookkeeper, perfectly capable of using technology as far as an end user is intended to be able to, but by no means is she interested in being the IT person. Yet, being that she's still the most technologically adept person in her office, that's obligatorily one of the many hats she's forced to wear. So her boss called her into his office yesterday cause his numlock key popped off and he didn't know how to put it back on. Just gonna let that sit for a sec. Anyway, she popped it back on for him, prob with a pretty snarky face. Today she went into his office and saw a bottle or something strategically sitting on his numlock key. Naturally, she inquired as to why that's on there so conspicuously. And his reply: "Yeah, that key just keeps popping off so I glued it." Face with tears of joy, 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 dude I'm dying, face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy. Black History Month has been cancelled, by user Velociraptor. About 5 or so years ago, our whole company, 230,000 employees, was on Lotus Notes for email. I was a Notes admin and local desktop support who worked with a decent-sized group of about 15 who supported a service area of about 10,000. This one year, we received an email celebrating Black History Month, with some details about an event. I believe it went out to all NCAL users. I think it was around 40,000 employees who received the event email. In my group, we had a diverse set of people from all over the world. We had one guy from Sudan, let's call him Mabad. He was starting his family, already had one kid with one in the oven. I liked him, although we were from very different cultures, I had respect because of the stories I heard about Sudan. Back to the email. There was this option in Lotus Notes to add an email to a new calendar entry. This is exactly what Mabad decided to do. Now, there were two options, one to add it to your calendar, and one to add all recipients to your new calendar event. Mabad, either by mistake or not looking, chose to add everyone to his event. This included all 40,000 people. At some point, he realized what he did when everyone started asking him about the event. And in a panic, he cancelled the meeting. This triggered a cancelled meeting notification to all recipients in the event, so everyone received an email stating Black History Month with Mabad has been cancelled. Then in a secondary panic, he pulled in a senior tech and requested OSNAP support to assist him in his plight. He was then considering a recall, but by then, the servers were locked up and the recall feature was only for emails crafted, not automated cancellation emails. I felt so bad for him, and then he soon left to a different department. If people had basic problem-solving skills I would be out of a job, by user Nixainer. One of the higher UPS at my work is partnering with 2 other companies on a project. I'll refer to them as @domain1 and @domain2. My company will be at our domain. I get a call from the higher up saying that they are having trouble sending an email to @domain1 and are getting a kickback message. Me: okay, no problem, can you send me an example of the kickback message? Higher up: looks through emails for a while *, no, I can't find it. Me: alright, well, how about I try to send an email myself and see if I get a kickback message. What is the email address you are having issues sending to? Higher up: well, if you send it from @our domain it will go through just fine. It's when @domain2 tries to send to @domain1 that they receive the kickback message. Me: so the issue only lies between @domain1 and @domain2, and @our domain is working normally. Higher up: yes, could this be an issue on our end? Me: no. Higher up: okay, thank you. Clearing 40 plus tickets spanning 3 plus months just by opening my eyes, by user perpetually falling. So I have only just started on help desk like less than a month. The company I work for provides white label services to MSPs as a kind of buffer to take pressure off their first line. So call today very irate user at company A, reoccurring issue of not receiving emails from company B. I mean, this user was going off gaskets, completely blown the lot. C user is meant to be CC'd into every email from company B that any user from company A receives, think account manager type. So off to email filter I go to look for said email, all the whole filling in ticket in MSP we are helping system user mentions this has been going on for months. I click the contact name and lo and behold 40 plus unresolved tickets over 3 months with the same problem. Anyway, get into the filter, search user's email address, not a thing that has been picked up by the filter for this user in weeks, and certainly nothing from company B's domain. Confusion ensues. There is no email here for you from that sender. User getting more and more irate. Well, I know it was sent, I was on the phone when it was sent. Okay, so you were CC'd in this, who was the main recipient? User B. So I ask for the email address with spelling, lo, and behold there it is, sender, recipient, time, everything. Can you forward it to me? As you aren't listed as a recipient, not really. Face down, rubbing my temples. At this point I look back up at the screen looking at the delivery info. I look down to the CC section and her email is right there. Well, I say her email is right there, the username is anyway. I'm greeted with 2. user.b@domainxxexx.com. cc, user.i@domainxxixx.com. Okay, so I have found the email. I'm going to send you a screenshot to your email and you need to contact company B. For the entire 3 months you have been working with them, I am going to assume that they have had the contact for you saved with this typo. Go back through the mail filter, switch the search to email from company B's domain, and literally every email for 3 months has this typo in the CC line. 15 different texts assigned to these various tickets, plus user A themselves having these emails forwarded on by colleagues when they didn't receive the CC and no one spots it. Think I did a good today. I'm just starting out but hoping to do many more. Request ping pong, by user Verlith. So I've recently come from a big project back to the service desk. Taken a week or so to get back into the flow of things again, answering the phones, getting to grips with minor frequent issues and such. Little did I expect one of the requests I had dealt with today. SMH. A user had logged a request following extended leave from their work. For the most part we would replace the device for security reasons, as the laptop is more often than not disabled due to being out of corporate policy. The end user was using the laptop regularly enough for this not to happen. However, following a major incident the user wasn't able to log in, prior and following the incident. The request had been logged to the service desk, triaged and not solved, multiple password resets. No one could solve this request, so it was passed to the escalation team, before I joined, and they couldn't solve it. Escalation pass it to our end user compute team, they still cannot figure it out, why this user, despite having by this point well into the double digits password resets. End user compute see fit to pass this to starters and leavers, a reasonable move, to investigate any account issues. To keep this post readable, this ping pong of the request goes on for a month, a literal month. I picked it up this morning, looked at the backlog and scratched my head for a few minutes, called the user and got the rundown. I reset the user's password again, they had forgotten what it was last set to and I wanted to be thorough. The user tried the password and lo and behold it didn't work. Unsurprisingly. So I did the one thing a dozen other people before me didn't, I asked the user to check their Wi-Fi connection. Cue internal rage. The user wasn't even connected to their own Wi-Fi. I asked them to try their new password once more and guess what? It worked. TLDR, Rule 101 of tech support, make sure it's connected.